Good morning, everyone. So, from today onwards, I'm going to start up with part B, first chapter macroeconomics. So, introduction to macroeconomics, we will see. Before this, we have discussed about the microeconomics, various concepts. So, this chapter begins by giving you a simplified account of how macroeconomics differ from the microeconomics that you have known. See, micro means, actually the word micro and macro has been derived by the Greek word micros and macros. Micro means small part of an economy. It studies about an individual unit of an economy, where it gives the solutions to the problem where a small problem occurs. But whereas the macro is not like that. Macroeconomics studies the economy as a whole. So macro means large. So with what thing the macroeconomics deals with? Simply to say, macroeconomics studies economy as a whole, or I can say macro means large. How this is applicable in this economy, we will see one by one. So introduction to macroeconomics. Macroeconomics, already I told you, micro and macro. So macro studies about the individual, household and the firms, market, about the individual demand and supply. Whereas when we put all things together, it's studying about the entire activity in the economy, that is called as economy. It studies activities related to economy as a whole. That is why here I have given. So macroeconomics, simply to say, it studies the economy. In economy, various things we have like individuals, households, demand, supply, market, firm, producer, consumer. Like that, each individual we have in the economy, that studying about that individuality is microeconomics. But putting everything together as a large, as enlarged one, we call it as a macroeconomics. So macroeconomics refers to the study. In this we have like aggregate output level, price level, employment level in the different production units of an economy. So many things we have here. So there is a close relationship to each other, then the task of analyzing the entire economy becomes relatively easy. Got it? So here we have many things to study here. Okay, like it is covering the entire economy in general employment, general price level. So the price level, sometime the price of the commodity goes up, sometime the price of the commodities comes down. Okay, so here I wanted to quote few things. When the price rises for a continuous, for a longer period of time. For example, if you observe from past few days, the onion prices are going up. Last week the onion price was 40 rupees and after 2 days it was 60 rupees. Now it is reached 100 rupees. In few more days it is expected the price will move towards 150 rupees. When the continuous prices in a particular commodity, when the price of the commodity increases, we call this situation as a inflation. Okay, and sometime the price of the commodity goes on falling. The prices, even the gold prices are increasing day by day, and some commodity prices it is go on decreasing. When the price decreases, here for that we call it as a deflation, and a concept called stagnation, okay, inflation. So like that we have many concepts which deals aggregate means covering everything, aggregate means total. Here it studies about the general price level And wage level, see in some sector the wages means salary, it will go on increasing. In some places the wages will be very low, so everybody wages included. And aggregate demand means total demand and supply, national income, output, interest rate, cost structure, theory of money, like that many things are there in the macro level. See, in a micro level, it deals with a small concept. It deals with only small agents. Okay, so here, for example, to say different economic agents we have. Okay, so you come across individuals, that is economic agents. Economic agents means like individuals, like as I told you, small part like consumer, producer, like a firm, a market. These are all the very small thing, economic agents. Okay, and this economic agents will decide. What is this economic agents? Will see, they are the decision makers. Economic agents are nothing but decision makers, where they will make a decision. For example, in our home, the head of the family is father. Who will make the decision in our home? Father or mother? Who is the head of the family? Who is the head of the family? They will decide, they will make decision only in a at family level, that is at an individual level, household level. Where it has come as a nation, as an economy, they will cover it for the entire economy. So macroeconomics deals with the entire aspects of the economy. So now we'll see what is economic agents. So economic agents are those individuals or institutions which take economic decision. They can be a consumer or a producer or a government or a corporation or a bank. So these are all called as a economic agents. And here we will see one concept called full employment. These are the assumptions of classical group of economists. So who's the classical group of economists? Means Adam Smith and their followers. So according to this classical group or classical thought, what is this full employment means? All the laborers who are ready to work will find employment, and all the factors will be working at their fullest capacity. So whatever the resources available, whether it is a natural resources or a mineral resources, water resources or a human resources, all these resources are fully working at their fullest capacity. It is called as a full employment. And lastly, few things about Adam Smith. So as we know that Adam Smith is a father of economics, and he is a founding father of modern economics as well, and his well-known theory or published book is An Enquiry into the Nature and Cause of Wealth of Nations, which is published in 1776. And here macroeconomic decision makers, as it is mentioned, are state itself. So who are the macroeconomic decision makers? In microeconomics, as I said, consumers, producers, firm, market, these are the decision maker in a microeconomics. But when we come back to the macroeconomics, who are the decision makers? Means the state itself. State means the government or the statutory bodies, that means the authoritative bodies. So who are the authoritative bodies in our country? That is Reserve Bank of India, Securities Exchange Board of India, and other similar institutions. These are the decision makers in our state. So if you have any doubt regarding this topic, just you can contact me. Thank you.